Welcome back. During the briefing, the ministers also pointed out that the plan promotes stronger growth and job creation that solidifies the government's firm commitment to maintaining and reforming the nation's social safety net.
Yeah, so far as it relates to the National Training Agency, I think all of us will be aware of the shortage of skills that we have in the country. And so what we have spoken about from before we were elected is properly preparing the workforce to take advantage of all of the opportunities that will become available through all of our major developments. And so the National Training Agency is a major thrust of this government, where we are looking at building competency and capacity in the country. And so we have been meeting with the employees representatives over the past several months, and we are well on schedule to take in our first group of trainees, hopefully in late June, early July. As you're aware, Bahama alone requires some 4,500 employees. That doesn't take into consideration the other employees required in all of the other developments throughout the country. And so we want to make sure that there is a little case to be made for bringing in foreign laborers in the country. And that is why we're trying to build capacity and competency through the National Training Agency.
The PLP governments have always been weighted heavily on social issues of our country, and certainly the Christie government continues that historical trek. The Ministry of Social Services is particularly very happy with this budget in terms of the developments on behalf of persons with disabilities, as well inclusive of both special needs children and post school age adults with disability, children with disabilities. Also, we have the social safety net reform, which again will be a part of this budget. And with regard to the facilities, you would have heard the Prime Minister in the budget communications speak about the multi-purpose facility that we expect to come on stream, and the community of persons with disabilities are certainly very excited about it and what it means to those children, particularly who would have been, past school age, and to have a facility where specifically for them, and to provide them as well with training and daycare services as well. And of course, then there's also the Our Lady School that is being transformed for children with special needs, and the Minister of Education and Science and Technology will speak more directly to that. But I just say the government for special needs children and persons with disabilities is back. Certainly, the community of persons with disabilities will be very pleased, because then reinforcing all of this, we expect very soon, hopefully before the summer break, to be able to lay the disability legislation in the House. In addition to that, of course, with regard to poverty alleviation and addressing the cycle of poverty in our country, you would all be aware of the Inter-American Development Bank loan that we have for the social safety net reform. We are well on the way with that. We have identified a project office. We have already identified a project officer, and fine-tuning all the details. And so we expect, we've done the pilot project in Grand Bahama, New Providence, Cat Island, and I think Eleuthera. A pilot project for the program in terms of developing what we call a proxy means test. But I will go into more detail on it in my budget presentation. But here again, we have a government with a major emphasis on the social safety net and the social welfare of our country.
While addressing the Honorable House of Assembly, Prime Minister Christie said his government continues to emphasize its commitment to higher educational standards and better outcomes, as well as effective skills training, all of which are vitally important to the future.
during our Charter for Governance, or in our Charter for Governance, we committed to doubling our investment in education and training. And I think that during the first year, we have stuck to that commitment, and in fact, many areas we have more than doubled our investment in many areas in education. The Prime Minister has often been quoted as saying that education, not money, is the cure for poverty. And indeed, education, not jails, is the solution to crime. And I think that that in and of itself speaks about this Prime Minister and this government's commitment to having education as a priority. And I am pleased that as Minister of Education, the Prime Minister and all of my colleagues have been very supportive of putting education as a priority and understanding not only its importance to educating our citizens and our young people, but also its importance with regard to our national economic development as a country and as a people. And so I am happy that even as we go through all this, we have paid particular attention to ensure that we take care and make sure we consider those who are the least amongst us, those who have challenges. And I am so excited about the commitment we are making to special education in this country and will continue to make moving forward. The other main thrust you will see will be that to preschool education. We are expanding preschools at a rapid rate. This year we have done quite a few, and the upcoming year you will see more. And this is essentially because we understand and appreciate that the statistics show that children who attend preschool have a better chance of being successful at school. Also, they perform better when they leave school in the workplace, earning higher income, which all goes towards national development. And so there are a lot of very positive things going on in the Ministry of Education, and I want to say a special thank you to all of the administrators in the ministry and the department, all of the teachers who sacrifice much every day to ensure that our kids get the best education possible, and all of those support staff from the security to janitress who keep our environment clean and safe so our kids can learn. It's a combined effort, it's a team effort, and I am very pleased with the results so far this year. We have still a very long way to go, and it's not going to be easy, but I am satisfied that from the government's perspective, there's a commitment and a resolve, and with those within the ministry, we accept the challenges that are posed in education in this country, and we feel very good moving forward. Thank you.
During this budget year, this fiscal plan is allocating $5.5 million for the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in 2013-2014 for the construction of new primary and secondary schools in Inagua, San Salvador, Gregorytown, and Low Sound. That is more than double the amount allocated last year and a virtual tripling of sums allocated in 2011-2012. Also indicated in this budget is a broader education thrust, as the government will rent and renovate Our Lady's Catholic Primary School to accommodate some 100 special needs children. Also present to bring remarks was the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Danny Johnson.
Once again, I would like to echo the sentiments of my colleague ministers, congratulate the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, and the Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Halkitis, for a job well done, a very innovative and balanced approach to fiscal management, talking about social and financial needs of a country and moving it forward. We continue to build on the great pillars of nation building, which are not just in Nassau, but also in our great family of islands, where we in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture feel that the future lies in these islands for tremendous growth among these young people. On the youth front, you will see in this budget a great deal of headroom for productive programs for young people. With immediate effect, you will see some innovative youth employment programs this summer that will dovetail into education training, and other areas. On the sports front, the most innovative sports program ever undertaken in the Bahamas, I think. The Prime Minister announced today that we'll be building 5 sporting complexes in the islands that will attract major camps from overseas and local sports academies, which will transform those communities. And finally, on the culture front, where our national identity now will take on a new flavor in the context of Bahamian Carnival, which we think will transform the creative and cultural industry in the Bahamas and really give room for tremendous growth with our tourism product, but also tremendous growth with our local festival idea. So we in this ministry, as a result of this budget, now see ourselves going full speed ahead into the business of sports, into the business of culture, and we will see great returns from this. We thank you very much for a very innovative budget.
State Minister for Finance, Michael Arkitis, reminded the media that at all times the Christie administration is careful to remember that it is the least of those among us that will need help. And so the budget sets out to strike the balance between growth and discipline, between aid and support and expansion. The ministers all expressed support for the 2013-2014 budget and pledged to work during the year to see it implemented. That is all for this week. Join us in our next edition of Your Government in Action as we continue to follow what this administration is doing to develop a more prosperous Bahamas.